Yo, what up? Welcome before the vision. This is Shady Will. As you already know, I'm very honored to be here today. I have a very special guest, and before we talk about our special guest, we are having technical difficulties. I know when y'all actually watch and listen, there's a lot of things that's going on. So those that are listening in radio land, those that are watching on social media, I'd like to welcome you to Before the Vision. And as you can see, for those that are watching on our social media platforms, you see the flyer, and that young lady name is Yolunda McGee, and she's the CEO of Biz Concepts LLC. How are you doing today, ma'am?
I'm doing well. How are you?
All right, I'd like to welcome you to Before the Vision.
Thank you.
So right now on social media, they can't see you, they see the flyer, and we're going to go ahead and bring you right on in here, and we're going to get started with this interview.
All right.
So, we talked a little bit off camera. How's your day been?
Yeah, it's been okay. It's been all right. I can't complain. How about yourself?
It's been pretty well. It's been pretty well for the most part.
Right.
All right. So now they can see you. Like I said, once again, I'd like to welcome you to Before the Vision.
Thank you.
All right. So here we go. This is what we do. All right. So the reason you're here, Before the Vision is a podcast based on entrepreneurship. And normally we try to find people that's making a difference. We don't discriminate, but within our culture, I don't feel that we're highlighted enough. So what I try to do is provide a platform for people that are doing things in society that people don't even know about.
Right. Okay.
So the things that you do before we get into the reason you're here,
all right.
There is an understanding that you play a pivotal role in helping young entrepreneurs to get their beginning. Mm-hmm. So before we get into that, Miss Yolunda McGee, tell us a little bit about you. Where are you from?
I was born in Dallas, Texas, but my family is from Shreveport, Louisiana. So my mom and dad, they lived in Dallas, and then they moved back here. So I always tell everyone, I'm from Shreveport. Even though I was born in Dallas, that's just a little formality. But, I own Shreveport.
Okay, you own Shreveport.
I own Shreveport.
So, okay. All right. So, before we start, you say you're a Woodlawn grad, huh?
Of course.
Okay,
nice
so I mean,
all day, not nice all day. I love Woodlawn. Anybody that knows me, that's the one thing they'll say. She loves Woodlawn. Okay.
So with you being an alumni, do you go back? Do you do things?
Yeah, I'm on the alumni board, and like before we talked off camera, Darien, excellent alumni from Woodlawn, Angela Miles, Marcus Jones, Pastor Timothy Jones, Cedric White. We have a lot of good alumni that always give back. And so, we try to make sure that we pour into the school, and we try to give back to the kids at the school. Because Woodlawn really, to me, the graduates that came out of Woodlawn, most of them are business owners. And it was that foundation that we got from Woodlawn, I think Woodlawn had an extra something that motivated you to want you to do better.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, tell us about Biz Concepts LLC. Just give us an overview of your company.
Well, look, it has had about 5 or 6 different names. That business started when I became a notary like in 2000. And I was trying to figure out, okay, what do I want to do? I hadn't had my son yet. So I'm somewhat fresh out of Louisiana Tech, fresh graduate, just getting my notary certification or passing a notary exam, getting all these other certifications in legal research and writing. And so I wanted to do something where I can help people start a business. And that's just like from the ground up. So if you have a LLC, nonprofit, that's what I wanted to do. I love being able to help other people have that financial freedom. And I think that's important. But along the way, it's been EMC Consulting. Then I changed my mind and rebranded. Then it was MCG Group Services, and I changed my mind again and rebranded. And then it's been a couple of names. I can't even think. So many of them I just had to kind of think about. But then when I prayed about it, and I said, now what name do I really love, or what kind of sounds good and rolls off your tongue to me? And then that's when I came up with Biz Concepts. And that's how I got the name.
Okay, so how many years of experience do you have as being an entrepreneur?
Probably like 30 years. But it's more a small business.
Okay.
See, I've started... And that's another reason I started Biz Concepts. When I started out, the moment that I knew I wanted to own my own business, my stepdad guided me But he was brand new with his business as well. But when you would ask around Shreveport, there would always be the same comment. Well, call this person, call this person, call her, she may help you. And they would give you little crumbs of information. And so at certain points, that would be just enough to get you to the next step. And so when I started Biz Concepts, I wanted it to be a business where you don't get crumbs, you get a packet, and you really get a blueprint of everything you need to start your business.
All right. So, giving us a little overview of the business. Now, you said 30 years. So that's a very important and critical piece of information for me. Okay, so prior to the booming and development of the internet, prior to, so you were doing business prior to, like when the internet really started.
Right.
Do you think that operating as an entrepreneur back then is easier, or was it harder? And give us a little information about that. How did you feel it kind of went with that?
And you know what? That's a good question, because it's the same to me. The only difference is, IT rules the world now. Everything we do is either an app, GPS, your phones. Back then, it was all word of mouth. And when I was starting out, it wasn't always I knew exactly what direction I was going in and what I was doing, when I helped people. I learned as I grew. So when I first started out, I want to say my first 5 years, that was like in 1999. As I grew larger, I learned more. I went to certain classes, I took more certifications, and that kind of helped me to get my name out there. But I don't advertise. I didn't advertise back then, and I really don't advertise now. Most of the people that hear about me, they either know someone that I work with, or they run into someone and they'll say, hey, do you know someone that can help me start or get my LLC started or help me with a grant? And they just say my name. They give my name to someone else, and it's just grown from there. But starting out, technology was still brand new. I remember when I had a computer, it was huge. And I had all of my clients' names typed into this computer. The monitor was like 1,000 pounds, and I had one of those old school printers. You remember those, and I know you told me how old you were, but I don't know if you remember the paper that you feed into the printer had those little holes on it.
Oh yeah, that like you had to kind of peel it, yeah.
That's how old it was. But I used it because all of my information was in there for my clients. And then as the technology age got better and more advanced, everything now, basically, I can do everything from my phone to my laptop. I can fax from my phone now. I can text and turn a text into a letter from my phone. So, to answer your question, technology helps, but at the same time, it's still more about, do you provide a service that people need? And then, if what you're giving people, is it something that is it quality? You know what I mean? With or without computers, do you have a quality product that you provide to people?
Okay. All right. So what has been some of the trials and tribulations of being an entrepreneur for you?
Doing everything yourself. That's the quickest and easiest way to get just burnout, because that has happened to me before. When you do everything, when you are marketing, website update, customer service, anything that makes your business better, and you don't have someone who can return the calls within 30 minutes, or you don't have someone that can meet with a client the next day. That's the part that can be kind of, it's kind of grueling. But if you have like time management skills, if you have like really good time management skills, you can figure it out. And then with my son, him being 21, he's older now, he helps me, here and there. That makes a difference. But that's for me, being and wearing all the different hats that'll get to you.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay. So what type of advice would you give someone who want to potentially go along the route that you've gone as far as with Biz Concepts Services?
I would say, and you mean like someone who wants to be a consultant?
Right.
Okay, I would say first, make sure that you have your vision. And so Like for me, I don't do everything because that would be a little bit too much. And so I know exactly what services I offer to people. You know, I do LLC startup, I do contracts, nonprofit startups, and I write grants. And so the grants will either be for a nonprofit or it'll be for a business that is looking for like an SBA loan, one of those little grant programs. And then I've recently branched out into, well, I'm not gonna say recently, about 10 years ago I started doing trademarks, copywriting for people who have music, and I really want to get into patents. Because that's, to me, that is where if you have any type of idea of what you're gonna offer, have a blueprint of what you know people need. And that was the one thing I always figured out. Like when people would call me, the majority of the people that call always wanted a grant, or they wanted a nonprofit, or they wanted a LLC, or they wanted a trademark, a federal trademark, or either a state trademark. So that way, everything that they use for their business, the branding, the logo, is protected. And so that's my niche. You know what I mean? So I don't, and the things I just mentioned, I don't stray from that because I know that's what I'm good at doing.
Okay.
Yeah. So that would be my advice. Have a blueprint, and I always have my notebook. I got like a little notebook. Whatever your vision is, make sure your vision is in line with the blueprint that you've written out. So, yeah. But it's enough business in Shreveport for consulting that it could be 50 of us, and they would still be able to be successful, in my opinion.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So, you know, for those that are listening, those that are watching, she said pen and paper. So, you know, when someone, you know, insinuates pen and paper, you know that it's real. You know, when you actually writing down your thoughts and what you plan on implementing, I think it's more personal. I think you mean a whole lot more. You know, like say now with the rise of technology, we get all these notes, we type them in the phone, like da-da-da, I go back to it. But I think when you actually put that pen to paper, it's more blue collar to me.
Yeah, but you know, even in your phone, like I still have notes in my phone that I'll print out, and I'm a note taker, and I'm a visual person. Mm-hmm. Some people who start their businesses, they don't even have anything written down. They don't have notes in their phone. It's all in their head. They keep it in their memory. They commit it to memory, and I respect that because I cannot do that. I'm a visual learner, and I'm visually motivated. So when I see a checklist of what I need to have done or completed, I like it when I can either check it off or scratch through it. That's just me. Right. Some people, they don't have to see it written down. They can see it in their head. Okay, I know I did this and, you know, that. But we all are so different and we're built different. You have to do what motivates you and what works for you. So,
okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. So, you know, with the pandemic, did your business increase or decrease in with the pandemic? If it, you know, depending on what you about to answer.
You know why it increased, right? Because during the pandemic, everybody got the
SBA.
Yeah, the SBA PPP.
PPP.
Oh my goodness, I almost hated my sister has her own T-shirt business, and I can't remember. Somebody called her and said, "Hey, do you know someone who does grants applications?" And so she's like, "Yeah, my sister can do them." And from that one call, I had about 10 people that called me. And I said, I don't want to ever hear the words PPP again. Did you hear me ever?
It was a gift and a curse?
Yes, it was. All at the same time because, you know, it was tedious, but if you have your business documents in order, it was seamless. But then, you know, we had people who they filed their LLC. I would file their LLC form on a Monday. Mm-hmm. And then on Friday, they wanted to apply for the PPP money. You know, I was like, no, that's not how it works because you got to have prior tax returns, you got to have revenue. You know, you have to show you are an established business. And the people that did that, I couldn't work with them. You know, the ones that wanted it real quick, I couldn't work with them. But the people who actually have business that genuinely they've had for 10 years, they lost revenue because no one was able to come to their store, no one was able to buy their clothes. Those were the ones that I really enjoyed, or I felt like they had blessed so many other people that I was a blessing to them to be able to help them apply for that money. But during the pandemic, the PPP funds, you know, everybody wanted to apply for that. And then everyone started a nonprofit. I think, what year was that? 2020? And then 2021.
Yeah.
it was like clockwork. I was always getting either a text message or I would get a call. Hey, someone referred me to you. I want to start a nonprofit that helps feed low-income families, or I want to help tutor kids who are already, they're not in school, but I want to start a program that'll tutor them virtually. I'm like, okay, cool. You know, all of them. And even I have a nonprofit where that's what my program offers, that virtual tutoring. But now, when we've all gone back into the world and we're always kind of like, I don't think now we don't want to go backwards, but it's still that option of being able to have virtual as an option for our children. You know, if it makes sense to you. You know, not that we only have that one thing, but we have a multiple choices now for education.
Okay. All right. So going forward, what is your preferred method of contact? I know you said a lot of people have reached out word of mouth.
Right.
So now with you actually doing this interview, what would be your preferred method? Do you prefer to set up a consultation or whatever?
This is what I normally do. If someone says, I got your number from, and they normally text me. So if they tell me they got my number from whomever, they normally would either text me their information, and then I shoot them a real quick text, hey, send me your name and your email. And then I send them a checklist in the email. That way, and I don't want anybody to get offended, if they're serious about starting their business, they respond to the email. And everything on that checklist, they'll get it to me like probably within the next day. But if I send that email and I don't hear from them, I'm like, okay, they're not for real. And that's another thing. Don't waste your time and your money if you know your business is not your passion. Because, well, you know, it's hard work.
Absolutely.
It's great to be a business owner and have residual income, or that, to me, that feeling of, I know I can do this and I know that I'm a business owner, but at the same time, like, I still work a day job. I still work in a law office during the day. And this is my retirement plan. So when I retire, I want to retire into my own business. So this isn't what I do 100% of the time. This is just a part of it. But everything I'm doing now, I'm just laying the foundation and I'm building it up. So when I am able and when I do retire, this will be my business where I go into the office and I work for myself.
Okay, so you heard it here first. This is 30 years of experience as an entrepreneur. Okay, so we're gonna kind of flip the script a little bit and we may kind of come back to this. Okay. Tell us something about you that no one else knows. It can be a guilty pleasure. You know, when we have people on Before the Vision, I like to take something from you that will stay with us in this room forever. Okay. So I've had, and I'm just going to give you an example.
All right.
I've had an entrepreneur come and tell me that she has a fear of balloons. Now, I've never heard that out of the 6 years I've been doing Before the Vision, 2019, 4 years I've been doing Before the Vision. I've never heard anything like that. But like I said, I'll never forget her.
Okay.
I'm not going to say her name, but I'll never forget her because of that. Is there anything that you can leave with us that we can have here about you?
It's a couple of things, but I don't even know if I want you to know that.
Oh, my God.
That's a blackmail stuff if I give it to you.
Well, the whole world listening and watching, they're going to know.
But I'm going to give you one of them because I got a list of probably like 5, but I think, I can't tell you that one. I was going to say something, but then I may offend somebody, so I'm not going to say that one. I'm trying to think. You kind of put me on the spot with that. Hold on, let me see. Okay, wait a minute. Okay, so look, I like everything like real neat, right? And in order.
Okay, is that like an OCD thing?
No, I don't have no OCD. I just like things to be neat. So, this was like after my son was born. I noticed that I had to learn how to let things be. Don't try to move the cup and the vase and everything into the perfect spot or whatever. So what I started doing is I let my purse, like everything else around me can be in order, but my purse is straight junky. I mean, it is horrible, but I'm good with it because everything else is always like neat. And you saw me when I came in here, what was I doing? Because that's real life. That person have to be in order. I still couldn't find what I was looking for, but it's okay. So that's my thing. But like I said, I got 5 of them, but that's my one. So, But yeah, that's it.
That's interesting. Okay, so with you being that way, I mean, do you have a memory like when you go, I knew this was right here, this is right there, like with you being
It
like that?
it depends. Like sometimes, like now because I'm older, when I was young, I had this memory, but I took it for granted. They like somebody could tell me a number. I
Hmm.
don't care if it was your phone number, your address, or whatever it was. If I was looking directly at you, and you said the number to me, or your address, or your phone number, or a score, whatever it was, I could remember it verbatim. You could ask me the next day or a month from now, hey, what was the score for the Saints and the Cowboy game? I could rattle it off. Or what was such and such phone number? Now, I could not tell you what I did this morning because I'm just so, everything is so much on my plate. That's why I write everything down. But I'm trying to think. I don't think my OCD and all of that doesn't play a part in it, but I don't know. You know what? You ask some hard questions.
Really?
Yeah, because I'm trying to. You making me think. But that's good though. That's good. I don't know.
So you'll never forgive me this interview because you'll be like, well, he asked some really tough questions.
Right, and not just tough questions. It's like the questions that you ask are making me think. Okay, wait a minute. Am I really this? But it's just making me think. I like questions that make me think harder. Oh, and you know what? I knew it was something else I wanted to tell you. It's about the business services side. Okay, so.
Okay.
I told you what I like doing. I know what my niche is. This is what I want to impress upon anyone. If you want to start your own business, if it's a LLC, nonprofit, whatever it is, do not be afraid to start it. But make sure whatever you start is your passion. And I ran across this documentary of Hedy Lamarr. I don't know if you know who that is. She was like a old actress from like the 1940s. So she was, really pretty. She was an actress. She was a singer. I think she worked for MGM or something like that. But she was married to a guy that was somewhat helping the spies during World War II. So she could hear all these conversations. They meet at their house, talking about how they were going to bomb certain areas, and it was really when the Germans took over.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so she decided that they were trying to figure out how can we have missiles that could destroy the enemy. How can we send missiles to their area and they not intercept the missiles? And ended up, the missiles that they had, they could actually intercept them, and then they could actually shut them down to where they would be powerless. So she thought of a way for the missiles to not be found, and instead of it having a detectable frequency, she created this program where inside the missile, her and this composer, where all these signals were hitting at different angles. So when they tried to torpedo the missile, they didn't know where it was. So it was sending out, we would shoot a missile. Instead of them being able to lock on it, it would send out all these various signals, right?
Okay.
So she gets the idea, talks to the guy, they file a patent. And patents take a long time. That's why I really want to do that. And it was from 1940 to 1942, she finally got approved. They go before Washington, tell them their idea, they laugh at them. She's all busted up. She's broken because she's like, I know this is a good idea. So she's like in the 30s. Fast forward, 1992. That's when the cell phones and the GPS really started, hitting hard.
Right.
Guess whose technology they use for GPS, cell phones, laptops, and everything we do right now, like how I got to your house? Her invention.
Oh, wow.
She was, and look, that was in 1993, I think 94. She was like 70 something. She became an instant millionaire because they had to use her invention. But the only way she became an instant millionaire is because she filed her patent. So whenever you think you're sitting on an idea and you don't know, wait, should I do it or should I not? Always do your research. Always do it. And then she died, I think probably like 6 years later. And so all the things that we still use now, her grandchildren are multimillionaires because she thought of it and filed a patent behind it.
She dropping dimes,
I know,
y'all.
I'm just saying. That's why whenever you have an idea, don't let the fear stop you.
And look, we have a comment. We have someone that's watching. Shout out to Miss Shinda Chanel Jackson. She says, look, I love her. She helped me start a nonprofit 15 years ago.
Tell my sis I said hello.
And she can hear you and see you.
Okay, good.
So
I love her too.
Look at how, like say, the experience we have in here. So those that watch this podcast before the vision, we're trying to get experience in here because we want to know the stories. And I can say for myself being a business owner, I've learned a lot, sitting here talking with you. And I'm very, very grateful, humble to have you here.
Well, thank you.
And hopefully, like I said, I know we're going to see each other again, definitely,
right.
because we have other irons on the fire, but to actually have these type of conversations about this. So I'm hoping it's something that we could talk about, going forward, see if we can come together and do something.
Oh, yeah, that's awesome.
To continue to impact the community.
Yeah, because this is amazing. I think what you're doing, well, I know it is, you're changing lives and you're making a difference. So this is amazing. I think it's awesome.
I really appreciate that.
Yeah,
really appreciate hearing that.
Yeah.
Well, like I say, I know that you're a busy person. Is there, and one more time before we get you up out of here, we've talked about your preferred method of contact. So for those that are listening, those that are watching, if you want to become an entrepreneur and start, you're sitting in front of the dictionary, the encyclopedia, the internet. This person right here, I'm referring to all these things. This someone has been here before technology has grown to where it is today. And I'm pretty sure she can guide and assist you along your journey. What's your preferred method of contact, and what contacts do you mind someone sending you information or reaching out to you on social media?
Yeah, that's fine. They can either, and I'm only on Instagram, and I believe now, I don't hardly ever check my Facebook account, but I know I have a Biz Concepts on Facebook, but I'm going to have to get better with checking that because normally everything is word of mouth, but for people who want to contact me, Instagram, #1, and then my website is bizconcepts.org. And when you go to the website, there is a contact button and it hits my phone. So whenever you send or complete the contact form, it goes directly to my phone.
And for those that are watching and listening, she said Biz Concepts is B-I-Z. B-I-Z. Make sure it's B-I-Z Concepts. Yeah. B-I-Z, y'all. That's critical. Reach out to this young lady. Let her help you get you started in your entrepreneurial life now. Life seems to be getting a whole lot tougher. And it seems like having that plan to have your own business is the way to go. It ain't for the weak.
Not at all.
And once again, I'd like to thank Miss Yolunda McGee for coming through and chilling with me and talking with me here before the vision. I'm Shady Will. If there isn't anything further, we out. We go holla.